let the countdown begin. Talking about the Africa Women's Cup of Nations, the draw has been done today. And of course, the Super Falcons of Nigeria are in Group B alongside Tunisia, Algeria, and Botswana. Edo Queens, not a good one for them, couldn't clinch that third place that they so much desire. And of course, we'll be taking a look at the English Premier League. There's a new man at Manchester United. He said he is the one to give them their first trophy since 2013. They've had 6 managers. They've not been able to do that. We'll be talking to Amorin on the show tonight. Yes, he will be speaking on the show tonight. And Pep Guardiola says, even if Manchester City relegated, he will still remain at the club. So much for you on Sports Tonight. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. Austin will join me shortly from London. But right here in the studio, Lagos studio, we have Okpeyemi Akeode joining me tonight on the show. It's good to have you.
Well, it's a pleasure to be back. Been away for a few weeks.
For a few weeks, yes.
Yeah. And just like you said, the Cinderella run of Edo Queens, even though they had their beautiful moments, their massive statement win against Mamelodi Sundown, yes. And then, but I mean, they got stuck, and I think it's just about what next for them. I was thinking they could do enough to also win the third place match today. But penalties is nobody's game. It could go either ways, but it's a big one. The weekend is back. Football is back. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's something about international break.
Yeah.
Everything else looks really cool. And, early kickoff tomorrow, Kings Park Stadium, Chelsea. And then it's just flurry of games, big games. Here's Roma at Napoli. Claudio Ranieri is back for the third time. There's also Ruben Amorim.
Coming out of retirement.
Amorin has been giving interview almost every market day. He's been talking and talking. So let's say he's going to get his welcome at Ipswich tomorrow. There's also Man City. Pep stays another 2 more years. The Etihad Stadium against Tottenham Hotspur. So there's just so much to look out for this weekend.
It's all loaded because after international break, you rush into all the games across Europe. And of course, in Nigeria, the Nigeria Premier League will definitely get our attention also on the show tonight. First, let's start off with this one, the big one, the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Now they know their opponents, the teams they will be facing in their quest to get their hands on the 10th trophy. I mean, some countries haven't even won one. Super Falcons got 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Equatorial Guinea that had 2, they could not qualify because another team was responsible for them not coming. They were taken out. And of course, you have Tanzania and some other teams back in. Let's just take a look at it. We'll just run through the draw and then we'll start the analysis from there. Can the Super Falcons make it 10, in the Africa Women's Cup of Nations? We'll see when it starts in July next year. For the first time, it's a long while. It's going to be in July. And the last time, yes, in Morocco. Usually Morocco, they decide to make it a summer games. But when the southern part, you have, when South Africa hosted Ghana, Cameroon, it was all November, December. There you have it. For Group A, we'll start off with Group A, where you have Morocco, Zambia, Senegal, and DR Congo. Now, that's the group everyone has been calling the group of death because it's a tough one for the host nation. Nigeria, Tunisia, Algeria, and Botswana in this group. Now, the Group C, where you have this one, South Africa, Ghana, Mali, Tanzania. Now, for South Africa, they are the defending champions. They've won it just once. Ghana, they're here to win it. Mali, of course, and Tanzania, these teams haven't won it at all. But DR Congo, that were responsible for Equatorial Guinea not coming, we'll see what they can actually prove in that very tough Group A. Now, we're seeing this, what we're seeing right here. If you look at all the teams that are here, Cote d'Ivoire didn't come. They couldn't make it. I think it was Tanzania. They ensured that they were not able to be here. Now look at another team that is not here. Powerhouse, Cameroon. They are not here. So the western part of Africa is like they're losing their grip on this Africa Women's Cup of Nations. Taking a look at these draws. Okay, from South Africa group to Nigeria group or Morocco group.
It's going to be a tough one. The fact that the Lioness of Cameroon will not be here, Equatorial Guinea as well. But Cecilia, I think this is a basic reflection of how African football is evolving over time, especially the female football, and it's going to be a tough one.
Yes.
I mean, there was a time where for every AFCON for women, you can almost put your money on the fact that the Super Falcons will go there, wait in the final, and look for anybody that is coming to join them. They made it look like the Real Madrid of the UEFA Champions League. But the last few years, we've seen Bayana of South Africa. The Israelis is doing an amazing job, with the female national team of South Africa. We've also seen the North African women football developing. Look at their dominance in club competitions. Algeria, Morocco, Tunisia, they're growing. Now we have 2 North African countries in our group, and that could make it a bit dicey. You also look at the Southern COSAFA Cup, the Women COSAFA Cup. I saw the performance of Botswana. They had some really huge, shockers in those competitions. So it's difficult, but again, you look at Morocco's group. Come on, you look at Zambia and Senegal.
Look at, and if you check this, we just mentioned COSAFA. Zambia are the ones who beat South Africa in the final, and their star players were not even around for that. So it shows, when you have these teams that have Group A and B. I was watching the draw live, and one of the commentators was talking about Morocco having a group.
They have a team A and team B.
I was shocked. So they have a coach for their team B and a coach for team A. That's how ready they are.
The team B is mostly composed of players that play in their league predominantly. So these ones play together week in, week out, club, and most of them are still young, going through the ranks. But I think it's going to be a very competitive women AFCON this time because it's been a while we had that sequence. The Super Falcons, it looks like the smaller teams are building up. Yes, we are still the standard, but how long can we maintain that standard? The CONCACAF, the COSAFA region is coming through. The North African football fraternity are also building. So I think it's a reality check for the Super Falcons. Let's see how it goes. We've got amazing players, the very best of the best. There's Rashida Tajibade, there's Azizatu Shuala, a lot of these girls. But the truth is this. Female football in Africa is going beyond the dominance of the Super Falcons. The smaller teams are building up.
Do we still have smaller teams?
That's why I kept doing this way. I kept putting it in quotes. The longer we allow them to come through, the quicker they overtake the dominance of the Falcons.
That's scary. Austin, I know this is very scary for everyone. Welcome to the show.
Thanks to you, Cecilia, Okoyemi, and of course our viewers joining us from different parts of the world. Always an action-packed world of sports. Last night we talked about it. We're expecting this draw. It's been done now. And Cecilia, for the first time ever, I'm the guy who says, "Oh, I like oddity. Something might just happen." Nah, this group doesn't bother me. In fact, we did a test match with Algeria about 3 weeks ago, and we made light work of it. Tunisia, Algeria, Botswana, no. I think the other guys should worry how they will come meet us in the round of 16, in the next round, because it will be too easy for the Super Falcons. Super Falcons, the way I'm being so sure. Give me stories I touch. But I think it's going to be a very easy one for the Super Falcons. I'll just say now that we know we know our opponents, let's get to work, let it be long-term planning. It's definitely going to be beyond the group phase, maybe beyond quarterfinals, but no pressure on this La Decima team. Celia, calm down, too.
There is pressure. You know what it means for you to set a bar. You set it so high that it's hard for other people. They start running to catch up. That's what the Super Falcons should do. They started this Africa Women's Cup of Nations. They should also remain at that peak. I mean, we're going to be playing France on the 30th, right? And we're still waiting for the team list. And players that will be playing that game, they're going to travel to France directly, or they're going to come here and then go. But we don't know. Maybe later in the day, or maybe by tomorrow, NFF will have the list out. But Austin, now just look at this group, because we're talking about no pressure on the Super Falcons. Take a look at this group. You've seen teams. DR Congo took out Equatorial Guinea with their stars. That should scare you, right? And Tanzania also were responsible for Cote d'Ivoire not coming. That should scare you, right? Cameroon, they're not even here. I mean, the names of the countries that I've mentioned are actually superpower. They are the ones that usually run side by side with Super Falcons when it comes to winning this championship. Equatorial Guinea has won it twice. Cameroon, of course, you know what happened in 2016 or 2017 in the final, where you have like a full stadium filled up to the brim with everyone watching. Desire Okpanoze was the one who scored that only goal that gave Nigeria that title. And then you go to a country like South Africa, we see what they're doing. And we just mentioned that Morocco has a team A and a team B in women's football with different coaches. What are we doing?
Cecilia, you know, I like the fact that with the analysis that you've just given, it shows one thing, that women's football in Africa is now competitive. But look, it's the Super Falcons of Nigeria, you know, 9-time African champion. You know, I like what Tanzania did with Cote d'Ivoire, but let's be sincere. Cote d'Ivoire in West Africa is just when they see Nigeria and Ghana, you know, that they, you know, beef up their football to see what they can do, and talking about the women. But I think Nigeria can do something with this tournament. I think they should just look away, focus. You know, you've made a good point. We're going to play France. Let us see a timeline of activities. Let's see programs. Now that we know the draw, let's start hearing things that will, you know, get us ready, put us ready for this competition. Is it the stars we've got them at plenty? Is it influence? The Super Falcons have it. Yes, the things that Zambia, Morocco, South Africa are doing, particularly with investing in women's football, maybe that's the part we need to learn. Copy from them and see ways that we can improve. And when we do that, Cecilia, nobody will come close.
Nobody will come close to copy from them. I remember when, I'm trying to remember her name now. She played for Tottenham. She's a Nigerian, but, you know, born in England and everything. She said when the Super Falcons came to England to play against their club, Tottenham, they were asking to be paid because that's what they do. They're not like, no, you don't get paid. You're going to play for free. You get what I'm saying? So it seems the league here was already developed before that of England. Okay, I'll end it here because we can go on and on and on about women's football development and, of course, about Super Falcons. But the good thing is Algeria is in our group, and we played Algeria home and away. And, of course, we saw how many goals the girls scored in that one. As Austin mentioned, preparations should start now. And, of course, let's have a substantive coach. Are we going to leave just until the end or after? We should know now so that he can draw up a program for Nigerian Football Federation for the girls to follow to see how we can actually get our hands on that. Like this, we actually want that. That will be the bragging right for the Super Falcons of Nigeria, especially after losing to South Africa and Equatorial Guinea. I mean, they took 3 out of us. They have been 30. Oh gosh, why am I so greedy?
Anyway, it's okay. if you have it, you flaunt it. I understand where, you know, Austin's brag is coming from. The level of dominance seems unmatched. But again, it's about the little things. It's about sowing those seeds that will come up to grow. And it looks like the other African countries are doing the same, and we're still holding on to what we used to be. And if we're not careful, they'll catch up with us and we probably won't even know how close they've been. So for the Super Falcons, yes, maybe the Algeria game could be like a stroll in the park for us. We give them about 6 goals and considered only 1 against them over 2 legs. But again, Cecilia, it's football and anything could happen.
Anything could happen. All right, let's leave the Super Falcons and talk about Edo Queens. Heartbreak for all of us right here. I mean, we wanted something different. Let's just get a confirmation of that result. It ended 4-3 on penalties. And just like you have at the group stage, it was goalless at regulation time. They had to go into penalties. And of course, what happened where Chobali said once again missing from the sport. Massa women and Edo Queens goalless at regulation time, had to go into penalties, and of course they won 5-3 on penalties. So they are third. They're making their debut also, just like Edo Queens, but they are able to finish third ahead of Edo Queens. Edo Queens finishing fourth on their debut. Without their coach not understand, I think we can say the girls gave their best. Just the wayward pass that we're not connecting. Someone said they left their shooting boots. You know, after beating Babylon Sounders, they forgot their shooting boots, and they've not had it since that time. Maybe that's the reason the shots have been very, very wayward. But they played a good game. But the difference is, when you play a good game, when you have possession, you just have to score. So no one is going to remember how you played, but the final result, which is really key. And that's what they've not been able to get in their last 2 games. Couldn't get it against TP Mazembe, and now against FC Massa of Egypt, they also couldn't get it.
It was a Cinderella run where we're all enjoying. I mean, against the defending champions, Mamelodi Sundowns, I mean, it was a massive statement. And the manner at which the game was won, I mean, about 2 goals in the last, maybe extra time, 90th minute, 94th minute.
95 and 90.
And one would have expected that against TP Mazembe, a very physical side, a side that can literally run us for 200 minutes if the game continues. We took them into extra time, and somehow we just flooded our lines at a point where it mattered the most. And tonight, against a team we already played at some points in this tournament, I played a goalless draw with them. I was thinking we shouldn't struggle with Massa women, but I don't know. For me, now we've done this. We failed to make, the third place. But where do we go from here?
Yeah.
That is my concern. What happens to that consistency? What happens? I mean, today you can be in the league, you can be so sure that Mamelodi Sona will probably be back next year. You can be so sure that TP Mazembe will probably be back again next year. But in Nigeria, can you be rest assured that it's not going to be Bayelsa Queen next year, or it's not going to be Rivers Angels next year?
That's the competitiveness that we love in
I understand, but again, the more you stay at the continental level, the more you learn the politics of the football at the continental level. It's just that when Manchester City started going to Europe,
what you want is just one club to keep representing Nigeria on the continent. CAF should increase the number. That's what we are clamoring for.
That would be a better offer. That would be a better option.
8 teams are playing because women's football is developing right now. I mean, see Women's Africa Cup of Nations, 44 countries, you still have 12 teams. And you have so many countries that can play good football.
Cecilia.
Imagine not having Cameroon here, not having the big teams, Equatorial, not having them here. Imagine
it's baby steps. I mean, there were times where women football, the stadiums are always empty. Now, the numbers are coming out gradually. It's one step at a time. There are conversations around equal pay for both the male and the women's national team.
Which Edo Queens made graciously. That's what they're doing.
Do you understand? So it's a gradual thing. But if Edo Queens comes this time around, and then the next 3-4 years you don't see them again, how do they learn that consistency over time?
They should build from home.
They will. When was the last time Enyimba won the CAF Champions League under the form like this early 2000s? That's the truth. But when you still mention the powerhouse of Nigerian football at the continent, people still talk about Enyimba. Is that aura of consistency? So I'm hoping that Edo Queens will come back next season. Now they've understood that these are the big teams we are likely going to meet. If you are playing against TP Mazembe, the mindset should be different from Mamelodi Sundown, which is less physical. You learn these things the more you stay at the continent, Cecilia. That's just about it. I want better teams to also come through, but you that are coming, be consistent. Win your league. Bring that consistency to the top. When was the last time we had the Nigerian NPFL team go back to back at the continent? If it's not Plateau United today, it's Lobby Stars tomorrow, it's Rivers United, it's Rangers. Nobody is coming with that consistency. That's why we're not learning the politics.
Yeah, I think we're happy with the competitiveness. Austin, right? Because it's very competitive. I'm sure that's why you really don't see one team going over and over again, because you can't be sure of the team that will win. But this will bring us down to talk about women's football. Last 2-3 seasons ago, we had something that we were proud of. But last season, we're not so proud of what happened. But now we've seen what happened to Edo Queens. And now we want to actually see if we can maybe tap from that and see how the league can grow better. What do you think?
First thing first, Cecilia, I'm not disappointed. Remember, I said it last night on this show that Edo Queens, I'm so proud of them. Beating Mamelodi Sundowns is the title for me. If I'm looking at the trophy right here, for them beating Mamelodi Sundowns. Unfortunately, I don't think we will get it right. I don't think we will. I'm sorry. Unless administrators of football in Nigeria and sports want to prove me wrong. You see, it's a lot of deliberate work, particularly when you're dealing with women. If Edo Queens don't win the NWFL in the coming season, what will be in it for them, for us to talk about them again? So we must build something. And that's our biggest problem. We don't love to build. We love to consume. We love competitions. We don't produce. We must find a way. There must be a program. Edo State government, look at what Edo Queens they've done. They've shown you that they have the talent, they've got heart, they've got desire. They're fantastic ambassadors of football for the state and the country. Great. And somebody tell us what they are planning now, so that when they come, they will get busy and start getting into it. I think that's what we need to start talking about for growth. I know we need to go on a break now. Sports Tonight on Channels Television. Let's go on this quick break. When we come back, there's still so much more to talk about. Amorim is talking. The NPFL is there for us also so much. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, Sports Tonight, to your award-winning sports-loving Channels Television. We're talking about the development of women's football in Nigeria using Edo Queens' performance at the CAF Women's Champions League to see lessons in it for Nigeria. And before we went on the break, I said, unfortunately, I don't just see us jumping into that space that will start documenting lessons learned and changing them. It's a lot of hard work. First thing first, I want to see deliberate investments into women's football in Nigeria.
I think earlier in the year, I was watching a report on the women development, football development in South Africa, and I saw the programs they have. Beyond those beautiful programs, they have sponsors. There's youth school sports, women's sports. They know that, Bafana, a big deal at the continent, even in world football. One, they've been able to retain the Israelis for so many years. She understands the girls. She's giving them an AFCON title. She's taking them to the semi-finals. She's taking them to the quarterfinals. She's taking them to the Olympics. They've been at that big stage. And you can see the deliberate effort of the South African Football Federation to develop women's football from the, like I said, girls football. They are pulling them out to say, you know what, don't make this Ronnie Williams sport alone. Don't make it just boys alone. Come into this, and we're seeing it. The South African Football Club, women's club now are getting mentioned when it comes to continental competitions, and that's exactly what we're seeing. What do we have in Nigeria?
All right, maybe you have to. If you continue, we'll not end this. Well, congratulations to the NFF president. He's been elected as the first vice president of WAFCON, and I hope his position, they can carve out something that looks like what COSAFA is currently doing. They've got under 17, under 20, and the senior team. A regional championship. Maybe WAFU can also learn from what COSAFA is doing. We know it involves investment, but that's why they are there, and that's why they need to do the right thing to develop.
Now you understand why Tanzania could easily beat Côte d'Ivoire and stop them from going to the WAFCON. Now you see, they are working.
Yeah, they're working. Okay, I won't cry. But there's good news, coming. A big corporation, NNPC, is partnering with National Sports Commission to develop football in Nigeria. Yes, that's what they want to do. And when it's football, it's not just men's football. They said football, they didn't indicate. So it shows when that money is going to come, it's going to be all spread across, both a grassroots level, elite level, and across. But I hope that's what it is, because according to the press release from them, they said that the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited has pledged to work closely with stakeholders in the sports sector to develop and commercialize the game of football in Nigeria. Now, this is the big news that we've been talking about. They were with Ashe Udiko and some other members, from the company, and also you have people from both the private sector, the brand management sector, and even the media sector. All of them right there, talking about this one. Now, if this is what we want to see, Austin, the investment should cut across, not just elite football where Super Eagles are playing, but let's see it across board. Bring in the money and develop the game of football.
So for those who have been asking questions, Austin, will this NSC function? Austin, what's the difference between the NSC and the ministry? We are beginning to see it now. The National Sports Commission, remember, Shehu Diko said the mandate that the president gave to them is to build a sports economy in the country. And this is what we're talking about, because people can relate with them that they are technocrats, they will be accountable, they will be transparent, they will put proper use into whatever they invest into, they will speak to them. So they've gone to the NNPC. The other day, Bukola Olopade, I think it was with a bank, they are putting together close to 2.6 billion to the NSC. Now look at the caliber of persons. I even see the legend Austin J.J. Okocha, and a lot of persons that can actually understand sports business. Now, Cecilia and Okoyemi, they are building the environment first. They are gathering persons to understand that we cannot do it alone. We need you. That's what Morocco did. That's what South Africa did. That's what even small Kenya, Rwanda, that's what they are doing. And I'm glad that we're beginning to see it. Less than a month in office, Shehu Diko and Bukola Olopade. Remember, I said it, Cecilia, on this show last night. I used the local slang. When you want to hold people accountable in the street, you say, I'll jack your shirt by the neck. If they don't do the right thing, we will hold them accountable. We will ask them questions. So now with this development, we've seen corporate Nigeria showing interest. They now need to sit down and say, where do we start from? So that when people start putting their money, Cecilia, there will be some sort of return on investment.
I think for me, I would totally agree with what Austin has said. But more importantly, this is what you get when you put the right people at the right places. It's simple. You would simply get the right results. The pedigree of Shehu Diko is unmatched. Bukola Olopade is an experienced football administrator, sport administrator in Nigeria. So you have two individuals that you could say maybe they even want to compete, positive competition between themselves. Who is bringing in the biggest sponsors? Who is attracting the biggest brands? Let's see how it goes. Rather than the era of where you have one person financing this, one person financing this, it seems there's a defined purpose now.
Like basketball.
Let's leave that one. Let's leave the basketball league. But it's like creating that environment of calmness. There's no hostility. There's no one camp against the other camp. Everybody's working towards a purpose. The mandate of the president is very clear. Develop a sports marketing environment so that we don't just export our sport product. We'll also, import things that we know that, yes, these are the big deals. Let's have more stadiums. Let's have standard. Let's have coverage for our leagues. Don't let us just focus on football. Let's look at the relatively unknown sports that can also take us to the level. We went to the last Olympics. How many games did we participate in, Cecilia? How many games did Egypt participate in? How many games did South Africa participate in at the last Olympics? And I'm just saying, so when you have individuals like that understand the business side of sports, you see results like this. Brand would willingly approach you. Not that we'll be having NPFL without a title sponsor. Now people will say, you know what? Give us 3 years of the title ownership of your league. Let's put our money where our mouth is. And everybody will be happy at the end of the day, Cecilia.
It's a happiness that we want. And that's why they're taking a step further. Now, the National Sport Festival, the next edition, Ogun State is hosting this very one that's going to take place in January. And the next one, we already have a host for it. They didn't have to wait to the final moment. So Edo State has been chosen to host the next National Sports Festival. Let's listen to Director General of the National Sports Commission, Bukola Olopade, talking how this decision was made.
The next host of the National Sports Festival, the 23rd National Sports Festival, would be Enugu State. And for me, it's a thing of joy because we always, in the last few years, would wait until the closing ceremony to announce the next host, which somehow has not added value to those closing ceremonies the way you see everywhere in the world. So what we have today now is Enugu State with at least 2 years and a few months to put together their facilities and have an amazing games, and obviously 3 months or 2 months to put together a cultural display, something that showcases Enugu at the closing ceremony in Abeokuta. And that also obviously will give you the international touch that is needed. It shows that the Commission is coming up with a different strategy with which sports will be administered in this country. It has to have a corporate approach, a structured approach, a better organized approach, which will elevate the perception and the status of the way people look at sports. Enugu State is one of the states that has already been prepared in terms of facilities. When you look at the sort of facilities that they have around Enugu State, from the university in Nsukka to the stadium in Enugu to the golf course, which is an amazing golf course, to the sports complex that they have within the stadium with swimming pools and everything. And you think of the ambition of Governor Peter Umba, you would agree with me that the things that you need to put into cognizance before you even give this sort of hosting rights to any state are very present in Enugu State. So leadership is there, passion is there, purpose-driven attitude is there, facilities are there, the love of sport by the people.
So now we know the host for the 23rd edition of the National Sports Festival. The 22nd is in January, and Ogun State is ready to host. A quick one on this one, Austin. What does this portray for the sports going forward?
It shows we're serious now. It shows we're getting it right. Cecilia, I remember after Echo 2012, we waited for about 5 years or more to even know if we're going to have the National Sports Festival. Now we've not even done the gateway games. We already know that we're going to Enugu. So it means Enugu will start getting ready. It's a good one. It's that planning and organizing that I'm always talking about. And I love some of the things that Bukola Olopade said, particularly saying that the interest from the governor of Enugu State, Governor Mbad, of course, that there's good leadership in place already as regards hosting it. So shout out to everyone involved in this. I'm waiting to see what we will do with the Gateway Games in January next year so that we can now use that to see, if we're going forward, because I think the last edition, we did just fine with it. So in terms of participation, in terms of competition, organization, logistics, welfare, media, the entire packaging of the National Sports Festival, and the long-term ambition. What is the objective each time we gather sportsmen and women back home? What do we want to achieve with it? So that when we are done, we can now come and tick the boxes. Did we get it? Yes. What did we do right? We consolidate on it. What didn't we do right? We correct it, Cecilia.
Yeah, that's what we should do. Let's quickly go to NPFL right now. I'll talk about the games for this weekend. We have so many games this weekend. Bene Insurance, they are home to Kwara United. And Lobby Stars will be hosting Kano Pillars. Yes, Lobby Stars, they found their winning mojo or what? Okay, they started winning, but let's see if Canopilla is going to Lobby Stars. This is going to be interesting. You watch us for this one on this weekend. Niger Tornadoes and Ikorodu City will also be in action. You have Economic Warriors and Aqua United, and of course Heartland. They're having a good perfect run. Well, hey, they're hosting Rangers International. Now that's another game we have to look at for this weekend. You have other games for the weekend because you have Plateau United will be hosting Nasarawa United. Rivers are home to Abia Warriors. Katsina and Remo Stars will also lock on. And of course, 3SC and Bayelsa United will conclude the game for the weekend. Wait, which one pique your attention? Yeah.
I think the Plateau United Nasarawa United game. This is the old drama that happened. Plateau United losing 3 points and 3 goals, and this is a derby. It's the North Central derby against Nasarawa United. I'm looking forward to it because I've seen this matchup live before, both at the Lafia City Township Stadium and the Zaya Road Stadium, also in Jos. Well, Plateau United will be playing their game behind closed doors because of the consequence of, the issue with, but it's going to be a big game. But also, I'm looking forward to Ikorodu City against Niger Tornado. Ikorodu City are currently sitting 8th on the log.
Shocking,
and for a team that struggled at the start of the season, like I always say, if your manager is not good enough, sack him. If he doesn't leave, sack him. Bring in a manager that will give you results. Okay. And Ikorodu City is doing amazing for themselves. Look at the number of wins they've had in the last 7 games. They've gotten points away from their stadium. Yes. They've gradually made their stadium a fortress as well. Amazing game to look out for. There's also a derby this weekend between Heartland that seems to be on a beautiful run as well. So I'm really looking forward to see. Cecilia, I think we need to do a whole lot more with the games we push in the NPFL. Yeah. Last weekend, we had top of the table clashes, 1st versus 3rd, 4th versus 5th, and we didn't do enough to push these games out. We have some beautiful games to look out for. Rivers United and Abia Warriors is a southeastern derby, and I can tell you for a fact that Rivers United will have a full capacity stadium to work on that one. Finidi George was on a very sweet run. He's been halted. He's lost 2 games already this season. Remo Stars actually broke that sequence of run. It's an amazing time. Kano Pillars Stars returned to the Sani Abacha Stadium last weekend after the renovation that has been done at that stadium. They couldn't get a win, but they will also fancy their chance for Bayelsa United against Shooting Stars Club of Ibadan. The Adama Simba Stadium is not a place you want to go to. I'll be sure you are going to get a point. But we've seen it. Last week, there were about 4 away wins. The previous weekend, also good wins. So I think we're evolving over time.
Yeah.
For me, it's about consistency. For me, it's about putting the games on TV.
Yeah.
And let me tell you what that does to you. It regulates the activities of the center referees, the officials. You know that the entire world is watching you.
Yes.
Your chances of misbehaving is a bit slim because you know that you mess up. The continental games, CAF will not consider you. They will not look at your side. So we need to have a way to balance things up. And I'm really looking for it. But my big game for the weekend, unfortunately, is going to be behind closed door. It's Plateau United and Nasarawa United, Cecilia.
Maybe we'll get to see the pictures of that after the game. Austin, yes, which one gets your attention in all this game this weekend?
I think I like what Canopilla seem to be doing, particularly when they play away from home. Remember that they've gone to Rangers to win at the Cathedral. They won 4-3, gave us a 7-goal thriller. I'm still jumping over that one. And then they went to Benin to beat Bendel Insurance. They can be saying to themselves that they can go to last year and also beat Lobby Stars. So that's why I'm looking to see what they can do, particularly because they do not really like the way that last game against Heartland ended. Remember, Ahmed Musa had to rescue a point for them so they will avoid that embarrassing defeat at the Sani Abacha Stadium. You just get into the stadium and then you get to lose a game. Let's also see what Heartland can do against Rangers. What a story. Emmanuel Amunike and this team unbeaten in 4 matches. Look, this is a team that when they caught fire, it was in October, I think, when they defeated Remo Stars 1-0. And then they went on to win. And then they went to Mwaya to stun Abia Warriors. And then they were so close to even in Kano Pillars. So those are the 2 games that I think will really get us talking.
All right.
Match this.
Okay, let's quickly go to English Premier League. We just run through the games for the weekend. And then we get to listen to Pep Guardiola, who is saying that he will stay at City even if they're relegated. Wow. Leicester City and Chelsea are in action. Remember, Chelsea manager returning to his former club. He says he knows most of the players very well. Arsenal and Nottingham Forest. You have Aston Villa and Crystal Palace. So these are games for Saturday. Still on for Saturday's game, you have Bournemouth and Brighton, Everton, Brentford, Fulham, Wolves, Man City and Tottenham. This is the big game to look forward to this weekend. And on Sunday, you have Southampton and Liverpool and Ipswich and Manchester United. That's where Amorim will be having his first game for Manchester United. Let's listen to Pep Guardiola talking about even if they had to go on relegation, he will remain at City. Remember, he just signed a 2-year extension, no longer 1-1 extension deal.
I said 6 months ago, 1 year ago, when I resigned, when all the clubs accused us to have done something wrong. So what happened? You got relegated. I will be here. Next year we'll come up to the position of the conference they're going to bring us. We're going to come up. We're going to come back to the Premier League. I knew it then and I feel it now. I felt, I should stay here, of course, because they want me for the obvious reasons, for the results. Of course, we know each other for a long time, but all my decisions have been in my life, have been like that, what I feel at the moment. And when I was, I don't pretty convinced, I wait, and sometimes can ignite you something on yourself that said that is the moment still to stay here, and that was the reason why. And in just 2 hours we did it. I don't want the next season in September, October, November. It's the last year of Pep, had to extend again. That was the main reason. So I don't want to be in that position, because at the end the contract is there. I would like to stay 2 more years, but I know the results are not good. I will not be 2 years. Yeah, for defeats. Listen, when you are 8 or 9 years here, I think 8 years, or when a manager with a long time in one club, you live all the scenarios, all the situations. Like you are able to lose 4 games in a row. At the same time, you are able to win 4 Premier Leagues in a row. But the difference is sometimes most of the teams are able to lose 4 games in a row in different competitions, but just one team won 4 Premier Leagues in a row. So it's happened. When it happened one season, no. When you are 8, 9 years, yeah, both sides of the coin can happen.
It can't happen. He has lost 4 in a row. Can they really go to Conference League to play next season? I don't think it's possible for Pep Guardiola. He's just talking. But you know what? A man really needs to talk about it, because he is saying that he will be the one to actually return the glory to Theatre of Dreams, because he is a dreamer. Let's listen to him, and then we'll digest all the things he has talked about concerning Manchester United.
With a dreamer, and I believe in myself. I also believe in the club. I think we have the same idea, the same mindset, so that can help. But I truly believe in the players also. I know that you guys don't believe a lot in these players, but I believe a lot. I think we have room to improve, and I want to try new things. So you guys think it's not possible. I think it's possible. We will see in the end. Call me naive, but I truly believe that I'm the right guy in the right moment. I could be wrong, but the earth still will turn. The sun will rise again. It doesn't matter. So I'm not worried about that. I truly believe that I'm the right guy for this job. Yes, in simple things, I think. If you want to speak about the team, the way we play, I think we lose the ball too often, and we have to keep the ball. We have to be better on running back. I think that is clear for everybody. And we have to be very good in the details. Sometimes we are hoping to change a lot of things, big things. I think it's the small things, and we have to improve on that small things. The way we see football, play as a team, understanding the game in one way. That is the focus.
That is the focus, the little things. Austin, pick it up from here.
I think he said the right things. You know, I like Amorim. I love intelligent coaches. You know, I love coaches who listen. I love coaches who understand that they can grow with every game, and that's why he made emphasis to that they need to pay attention to the details. And he said in detailing, it's not about the big things, those small things. You know, when you put them together, it now makes sense, and then it will become something big. You know, I really wish him all the best. I know he has taken a very difficult job, and the media, they are waiting for him, you know, and I wish him all the best, because, for instance, if you don't win the game against Ipswich, they remind you, you know, they start saying stuff. I remember Eric Ten Hag started this way, you know. We love to hear him speak until things started falling apart. So, Amorim, I think Manchester United did something good with this manager that they signed. They also stopped City just in case they might want to look there. Remember, he's not new to the Manchester United setup, so he loves the club. He has worked with them before, and hopefully he's going to win with them. I'll wrap up with Pep. Someone was asking me today that Pep sounds like a wounded lion. I said, not yet. He's not wounded. It's just a hungry lion. Manchester City needs to start winning again. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Wait, I mean, just a final one, quick, 30 seconds, wrap it up on that. But he said he's been granting interview for like every second.
Yeah, I mean, I like his energy. He's strong. He's young, the youngest permanent manager in history of Manchester United. And then I think this is about the most purposeful they've had since Ferguson left. No disrespect to all of the managers they've had, but he comes highly recommended, and he knows what is at stake. He's taken over a team that have not lost since they sacked Erik ten Hag. He knows what he's coming up with, but I hope it begins with a win tomorrow. If not, the cameras will roll off on him real quick.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me, Cecilia.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mwagwe. Have a beautiful weekend.